Have you ever stood at the edge of a cliff, your heart pounding as you peered over the edge? That's fear. It's visceral, real, and often it stops us in our tracks. But what if I told you that you could harness that fear, channel it, and rise above it to overcome your greatest challenges? In this video, you're going to learn exactly that. By the end, you'll not only understand fear, but also possess practical Stoic techniques to master it, transforming your life in ways you never imagined. Lesson 1. From the Lost Voices of Stoicism. Transitioning from the well-trodden path, let's venture into the less explored alleys of Stoicism. Beyond the famous names like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, there were other Stoic philosophers whose teachings are seldom highlighted but are incredibly relevant, especially in our modern context of understanding and managing fear. One such figure is Musonius Rufus, often called the Roman Socrates. Rufus was a teacher of Epictetus and believed that philosophy was not just for intellectual debate, but for living a practical, virtuous life. He emphasized the importance of enduring hardships, not as a mere acceptance, but as a way to strengthen one's character. Rufus taught that true courage was not the absence of fear, but facing it with resilience and clarity of purpose. This perspective is crucial in our discussion about fear. It's not about eradicating fear, but understanding its role in guiding us towards greater fortitude and ethical resilience. Then there's Hierocles, another lesser-known Stoic, who presented the concept of oikeiosis, which roughly translates to appropriation or familiarization. This idea revolves around expanding our circle of concern beyond ourselves, gradually including family, friends, community, and eventually all of humanity. Hierocles proposed that this expanding circle helps us to overcome personal fears by fostering a sense of unity and belonging. When we are connected and concerned with the well-being of others, our personal fears often diminish in the light of collective strength and shared purpose. These Stoic thinkers offer us a rich tapestry of wisdom on how to approach fear. Their teachings encourage us to view fear not as a solitary battle, but as a shared human experience that can be alleviated through community, resilience, and ethical living. This perspective is not just about personal growth, it's about growing together as a society in our collective ability to face and rise above fear. As we continue, remember that these teachings aren't just historical anecdotes. They are timeless wisdom that can be applied even in the most modern of contexts, offering us tools to navigate the complexities of fear in our lives. Let's carry these insights with us as we move forward, exploring how these ancient philosophies can be adapted to our modern-day challenges. Lesson 2. Understanding fear. Let's start by dissecting what fear truly means from a Stoic standpoint. Stoicism, a philosophy born in the heart of ancient Greece, teaches us that fear isn't just an emotion, it's a reaction to our thoughts about a perceived threat. The key word here is perceived. This implies that fear, at its core, is a product of our own minds. The Stoics believed that by understanding the nature of our thoughts and how they lead to emotions like fear, we can gain mastery over them. It's like being the captain of your own ship in a stormy sea. Yes, the waves are high and intimidating, but you have the power to steer. Now let's delve into the first strategy to conquer fear. The Stoics advised us to practice premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This might sound daunting, but it's essentially a mental rehearsal of worst-case scenarios. Imagine the thing you fear most happening. Feel that fear. Live it in your mind. Then, calmly and rationally, start dissecting it. What's the worst possible outcome? How likely is it to happen? And if it does happen, how can you mitigate it or learn from it? This exercise isn't about dwelling on the negative, it's about diminishing the unknowns that often feed our fear. Remember, fear often comes from a lack of understanding. By confronting it head-on in our minds, we're taking the first step in diminishing its power over us. The Stoics weren't about eliminating emotions. They were about understanding and managing them to live a more fulfilled life. As we move through these strategies, keep this in mind. Fear is not your enemy. It's a signal, and like any signal, it can be managed and harnessed for growth. In the next chapter, we'll explore some of the lost voices of Stoicism and how their unique perspectives can further aid us in this quest to rise above fear. Lesson 3. The misunderstood virtue. Moving forward, let's explore apatheia, a concept often misunderstood in the Stoic philosophy. Contrary to popular belief, apatheia does not refer to a lack of emotion, but rather to a state of serenity and peace achieved by mastering one's irrational passions, including excessive fear. It's about achieving a balanced state of mind where emotions are present, but do not dominate our rational thinking. In our path of overcoming fear, understanding apatheia is crucial. It teaches us that the goal is not to become devoid of fear, but to prevent fear from overwhelming our rational judgment. This Stoic virtue is about cultivating an inner calmness and clarity, allowing us to face life's uncertainties and fears with a composed and steady mind. It's about acknowledging our fears, understanding them, and then navigating through them with rationality and wisdom. Apatheia, therefore, is not about emotional suppression. It's about emotional regulation and balance. It encourages us to recognize our fears, not as enemies, but as natural human responses that, when managed properly, can lead to greater wisdom and inner peace. This Stoic principle teaches us the art of maintaining our inner harmony in the face of external chaos, enabling us to respond to life's challenges, including our fears, in a more measured and thoughtful manner. In practicing apatheia, we learn to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. This discernment allows us to focus our energy on our responses and attitudes towards the things that scare us, rather than trying to control the uncontrollable. By mastering this virtue, we equip ourselves with a powerful tool to not just confront our fears, but to transform our reaction to them, fostering a sense of inner peace and resilience that guides us through life's tumultuous journey. As we explore the realms of Stoic philosophy together, remember that your engagement and participation are what drive this community forward. If these new teachings are helpful, make sure to hit like and subscribe. More importantly, share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Let's challenge not just our fears, but how we confront them. Let your voice be heard for your benefit and for the strength of our community. Lesson 4. The Stoic Rebel. In this exploration of Stoicism and fear, we turn to the concept of the Stoic rebel. This idea revolves around the notion that sometimes, to truly master fear, one must break free from conventional wisdom and forge a unique path. This chapter is about embracing the rebellious spirit within Stoicism, challenging not just our fears, but the very ways we've been taught to confront them. Being a Stoic rebel means daring to question the norms, including those within Stoicism itself. It's about finding your own truth in the teachings, adapting them to fit your personal journey. For example, while Stoicism teaches the virtue of temperance, a Stoic rebel might push the boundaries of this principle to explore new areas of growth, and self-discovery. This could mean deliberately placing oneself in challenging situations to build resilience and conquer fears that were previously thought insurmountable. This approach also involves redefining our relationship with fear. Traditionally, fear is seen as something to be overcome or suppressed. However, the Stoic rebel perspective encourages us to engage with our fears in a more dynamic way, seeing them as vital components of our personal evolution. This could involve embracing fear as a motivator, a teacher, or even a companion on our journey towards self-improvement. The Stoic rebel does not blindly accept teachings, but uses them as a starting point for personal exploration and development. By adopting this mindset, we empower ourselves to not just follow paths laid out by others, but to carve our own, using fear not as a hindrance but as a guiding force towards greater self-knowledge and fulfillment. In embracing the Stoic rebel within, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities where fear loses its power to paralyze and instead becomes a catalyst for growth, change, and personal revolution. This path is not just about managing fear, but transforming it into a force that propels us towards a life of authenticity, courage, and relentless pursuit of personal excellence. Lesson 5: Innovative Resilience. In this era of rapid change and uncertainty, it's essential to adapt ancient wisdom to our modern context. This chapter focuses on how the adaptations of Stoic practices can be particularly effective in today's world, especially in overcoming fear. One such adaptation is the practice of digital Stoicism. In an age where our lives are increasingly intertwined with technology, applying Stoic principles to our digital habits can be transformative. It involves being mindful of how our interactions with technology affect our emotions, particularly fear. For instance, the constant barrage of alarming news can heighten our sense of fear. By exercising digital Stoicism, we can learn to consume information judiciously, ensuring that our engagement with technology is aligned with our pursuit of inner peace and rational thinking. Another modern adaptation is the application of Stoicism in our approach to work and career challenges. In a world where professional instability can be a significant source of fear, Stoic principles like focusing on what we can control, our effort and attitude, rather than obsessing over outcomes, can be incredibly liberating. This shift in perspective transforms fear from a paralyzing force to a motivating one, guiding us to act with purpose and resilience in our professional endeavors. Furthermore, the integration of Stoicism with contemporary mindfulness practices offers a powerful tool for managing fear. While mindfulness emphasizes awareness and acceptance of the present moment, Stoic mindfulness extends this to include rational evaluation and action. This fusion allows us to not only be aware of our fears, but also to critically assess them and respond with reasoned action. These modern adaptations of Stoic practices provide us with practical tools to navigate the unique challenges of our time. By applying these timeless principles to our contemporary lives, we can cultivate a form of resilience that is innovative, relevant, and deeply empowering. In doing so, we not only manage our fears more effectively, but also forge a path towards a more balanced, fulfilling life in this ever-evolving world. Lesson 6: Embracing Life's Contradictions. As we delve deeper into the realm of Stoicism, it becomes evident that this ancient philosophy is rife with paradoxes. One of the most intriguing aspects of Stoicism is its embrace of life's inherent contradictions. This chapter focuses on how these paradoxes can be a powerful tool in understanding and overcoming fear. A central paradox in Stoicism is the idea of finding freedom through discipline. While it might seem that strict self-discipline would limit one's freedom, the Stoics argue the opposite. They believed that by exercising discipline, particularly over our thoughts and reactions, we gain freedom from the irrational fears and desires that often imprison us. This disciplined approach to life enables us to face fears not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to exercise rational control and judgment. Another fascinating Stoic paradox is the concept of finding strength in vulnerability. The Stoics teach that acknowledging and accepting our vulnerabilities is not a sign of weakness, but a source of strength. By recognizing our fears and vulnerabilities, we open ourselves up to growth and learning. This acceptance allows us to approach fear not with denial or bravado, but with honesty and courage, transforming our vulnerabilities into catalysts for personal empowerment. This chapter challenges us to rethink our approach to fear and life's challenges. Instead of viewing them through a conventional lens, we are encouraged to embrace the paradoxical wisdom of Stoicism. This means accepting that true wisdom often comes from acknowledging our limitations, that real freedom is found in self-discipline, and that strength often emerges through our vulnerabilities. By embracing these paradoxes, we equip ourselves with a more nuanced and profound understanding of how to navigate life's uncertainties. It opens up a path where fear is not a roadblock, but a guide that leads us to greater self-awareness, resilience, and ultimately, a more fulfilling life. These paradoxes, when embraced, allow us to transform our fears from shadows that haunt us to lights that guide us. Lesson 7: Contrarian Courage. In this chapter, we delve into the more unconventional and contrarian aspects of Stoicism, a perspective that often goes unexplored. Stoicism isn't just about enduring hardships and suppressing emotions. It also encourages us to question and challenge the status quo, including our own ingrained beliefs and fears. Let's take a moment to consider the concept of Stoic acceptance. Typically, Stoicism is seen as a philosophy that promotes accepting what we cannot change. However, a more contrarian view would suggest that this acceptance isn't passive. It's an active engagement with reality, where challenging our fears becomes a pathway to personal growth. This approach prompts us to ask ourselves, are we accepting our fears because we believe they are unchangeable, or are we just afraid to confront and challenge them? Another contrarian perspective within Stoicism is the idea of emotional engagement. While traditional Stoicism advocates for control over emotions, a more nuanced interpretation suggests that we should engage with our emotions, understand them, and then use that understanding to enact change. It's not about suppressing fear, but rather about recognizing its presence, understanding its roots, and then using that awareness to transform the fear into a driving force for positive action. This approach to Stoicism encourages us to see fear not as a barrier, but as a catalyst for change and a challenge to our perceived limitations. It's about harnessing the energy of our fears and redirecting it towards personal growth and resilience. By adopting this stance, we empower ourselves to not just endure life's challenges, but to actively engage with them, using our fears as a springboard to reach new heights of personal development. In embracing these less conventional aspects of Stoicism, we open ourselves up to a broader spectrum of strategies for dealing with fear, strategies that are more dynamic, interactive, and ultimately more empowering. This perspective gives us the courage to not only face our fears, but to question and redefine them, turning what was once a source of apprehension into a wellspring of strength and self-awareness. Lesson 8. Rising Above. In this final segment, we focus on integrating everything we've learned into a cohesive, long-term approach for overcoming fear using Stoic principles. This is about moving from theory to practice, from understanding to living. The aim is to create a sustainable framework in our lives where Stoicism isn't just an idea, but a daily practice that guides us in rising above our fears. The first step in this integration is to establish a routine of reflection. Whether it's through journaling, meditation, or simply quiet contemplation, regular reflection allows us to continually assess and realign our thoughts and actions with Stoic principles. This practice helps in recognizing patterns in our fears and our responses to them, enabling us to apply Stoic wisdom more effectively. Next, we need to cultivate a mindset of continual learning and adaptation. Stoicism, at its core, is about growth and resilience. As we face various challenges and fears in life, it's crucial to adapt these teachings to our unique circumstances. This might mean modifying some practices or even creating new ones that better suit our individual journeys. Another key aspect is the practice of community engagement and mentorship. Sharing our experiences, learning from others, and guiding those who are on similar paths can significantly enhance our understanding and application of Stoicism. This communal aspect provides support, different perspectives, and a sense of belonging, all of which are vital in overcoming fears and achieving personal growth. Finally, it's about commitment. Implementing Stoic principles in the long term requires dedication and perseverance. It's a lifelong journey of self-improvement and learning. There will be setbacks and challenges, but the true essence of Stoicism lies in persisting through these trials, using our fears not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to greater wisdom and inner peace. By embracing these practices, we don't just rise above our fears temporarily. We build a foundation of strength, resilience, and wisdom that supports us throughout our lives. Stoicism then becomes more than just a philosophy. It becomes a way of living, a constant companion that guides us in navigating the complexities of life with courage, dignity, and serenity. As we draw to a close, it's important to remember that the path of Stoicism is not a destination, but a continuous voyage of self-discovery and mastery over fear. Remember, your journey with Stoicism doesn't end here. It's a daily practice. Embrace these teachings, experiment with them in your life, and observe the transformation that unfolds. And as you embark on this path, remember that you are not alone. You're part of a community that values wisdom, courage, and self-mastery. Share your journey, learn from others, and grow together. So, take these lessons, apply them, and watch as you rise above your fears, breaking free from the chains that hold you back. The power to change, to grow, and to conquer your fears lies within you, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Please like, share, and subscribe so others can learn the Stoic wisdom of the ages. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's foster a community of learning and growth. Here's 2 more videos for you to embrace the Stoic path. Stay Stoic.